So today we hear of the miracle of the raising of Lazarus. But the story is full of tension, confusion, even disappointment. Because Jesus hears that his friend, his very good friend, Lazarus, is ill. And what does he do? He waits. That feels uncomfortable. Doesn't match what we expect from God. What we'd like is immediate action, instant healing. But Jesus delays, and by the time he arrives, Lazarus is already dead 4 days in the tomb. Martha goes out to meet him and says something that many of us will probably have felt at some time. She says, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." It's a mixture of faith and frustration. She was saying, "I believe in you, but where were you?" Jesus doesn't rebuke her. He doesn't correct her tone. Instead, he leads her into a deeper understanding. "I am the resurrection and the life," he said. "Not I will be, or I can give life, but I am." Jesus is not someone who just comes along to fix problems. He's life itself, and sometimes he does allow situations to go beyond fixing so that something much greater can take place. I was struck of this on Friday when I presided at a funeral for a man that had been ill really since 2019, a long, long time. And God had used that illness in him to make an example for his family and his friends, because he had dealt with that suffering with great stoicism and yet determination always to continue. That family will bear that memory of him and his fight for a long time. Then there's a crucial moment in the gospel when Jesus weeps. He's the Son of God. He knows he's about to raise Lazarus from the dead, and yet he still stands before the tomb and cries. He cries because death is real, loss is real, grief is real. Christianity is not about pretending that suffering doesn't hurt. It's about knowing that God enters into it with us. If you ever think God is distant from your pain, remember, he stood at the grave and he wept. But then he said, "Take away the stone." It's important because he could have done that himself, but he doesn't. He invites those that are there with him to participate. He gets them to move the stone. Now, we often wish for God to come into our lives, but sometimes we leave our stones firmly in place. The stone of a sin that we don't really want to give up. The stone of fear or pride. But Jesus says, in effect, you move the stone and I will bring the life. And then comes the moment. "Lazarus, come out," he says. And miraculously, the dead man walks free. He walks out, still bound in the burial cloths. He is alive, but he's not fully free. So Jesus gives another instruction: untie him and let him go. That's the mission of our church. Christ brings life, but we are called to help one another be unbound. This gospel is about us. We all have parts of our lives that can feel like tombs, where hope has died. Perhaps a relationship has gone beyond repair. Habits we think will never change. A faith, perhaps, that's gone cold. And I'm sure you've said, like Martha, Lord, if only you'd acted sooner. But he says, I am the resurrection and the life, and we have to respond. We have to let him call us out of whatever is holding us. The question is, what tomb am I still sitting in? What stone do I need to let be rolled away? Jesus is close by. He doesn't stand at a distance from us. He's right there. He's calling your name just as personally as he called Lazarus. He doesn't condemn, he doesn't shame, but he calls us to life. So let him bring to life where you've settled for death. Let him call you out. When he does, don't hesitate, because that same voice that raised Lazarus is speaking to you. And it's a voice that leads always from death to life. Ezekiel wrote in that first reading, I will put my spirit within you, and you shall live. Then you shall know that I am the Lord. I have spoken, and I will do it, declares the Lord.